We're underway and racing. Stay on the brakes, goodness me, what a launch. The outside of turn one and takes the lead of the race.
Hello everybody and welcome to the Almost Pro Championship for round 3 of season 7 here in China. We're at the Shanghai International Circuit, 3.387 miles ahead of us as well. And this awesome circuit that was built back in 2004, it took only 18 months for this circuit to get completed as well. It's hosted many an F1 race and this year returned to the Formula 1 Championship after COVID knocked it away. Button, Hamilton, Rosberg, Alonso, Ricciardo have all driven here as well and won in the past 9 events at this circuit. Today, esports returns to the challenge as well for another round of the APC as well. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. I am not Tom Dillon. My name is Joshua Burch and I'm filling in for Tom this evening. He's unavailable for tonight's broadcast as well. But don't worry, I'm not going to boast, but you're in very safe hands. Me and Tom have worked together for over 4 years now as well, and I have many a year experience in esports as well. Some of you might have heard me on PSGL broadcasts. Some of you might have heard me on motorsport broadcasts from around the world. But I can guarantee I will do my best here this evening to give you a thoroughly entertaining 90 minutes of action. And it's going to kick off with the qualifying session. We've got 28 laps ahead of us in the main race later, but it's all going to be deciding upon who's going to start where as well. And qualifying here is tricky. The ultimate pole time, well, let's go back to 2019 for comparison from Valtteri Bottas. That was a 1:31.547. And the one thing you can always point out is that there is no direct comparison between esports and the IRL running, because I've often found, as I know many of you have, esports tends to get a 2 to 3 seconds difference. It's always weird. You never know quite sure if Codemasters have laser scanned the track correctly or if they've bothered to laser scan the circuit. It's always going to be entertaining. Alongside me in the commentary box, once again, is our pit lane expert as well, an esport driver, Owen. And I'm hoping, Owen, that you're going to be very kind to me this evening and not, I'm not going to say throw me under the bus, but what's that thing where I'm the new boy here? So I'm counting on you to help me out a bit. Good evening to you.
Good evening, Josh. And you do not have to worry. I will definitely not throw you under the bus tonight. I will try to help you as much as I can. If you need any help on driver names or anything like that, just let me know. Although you should have a document with all that on.
I have indeed. I've been provided with a lot of information, a lot of driver stats as well, which I'll pick out throughout the evening as well. Wonderful documentation been provided as well as the Q1 is underway and the drivers are all set to get going. We can see at the moment they're just in the pit lane. I've got an unstable connection that's just flashed up on my monitor, so that's a slight worry about this evening. But so far, I can see everything that's happening. No one's in a hurry to head out. Looks like we're going to have Josh Geordie NL going to head out there. He's on the Xbox platform. He is going out. If I press number 6, we can ride on board with him now as well and have the pit lane limiter. Let's get all the information up, shall we, as well, and get the track map. That's all we like to know. Let's have a see. And track map activated. Thank you very much. And he heads out there. Wide turn 1 and 2 apex here. You've got to be very gentle on the throttle. It does often want to bite you, this first sector, because downhill braking's over turn 1, loops back around, and then you're suddenly in a 90-degree almost turn 2, and that opens up into 3, and you sort of sit thinking to yourself, how often do you want to play with the throttle? How much do you actually want to be on the side of the Angels? But I like it. It's a fun track as they fly up. This is down at turn 7 and 8, down in towards the braking zone for the double 9 and 10. This is my favourite part of the circuit because you can carry so much speed into 9 and then sort of get back on the accelerator midway through 10. I know it's an outlap, but Owen, you've driven this track many a time as well. What would the drivers be looking at to begin with in terms of banker lap times in this session and then going in for the kill with about, 5 minutes to go?
Right, so in terms of a qualifying strategy, I'd be probably going for a free run strategy. I'd be out there straight away personally. I'd go out on a new set of tyres. I'd get my banker lap down because China is a circuit that can be quite difficult to nail your first banker lap on, especially within Sector 1 and 2. Sector 3 is not such an issue due to how long the straight is, but I'd then go in after my first banker lap. I'd go out on the same set of tyres, see if I can sort of scout where the time is on my lap, and then I'd go in for the kill with one final run on a fresh set of tyres, and I'd save a fresh set of softs just for in case there were to be a late safety car of some kind or something like that. So that would be my qualifying strategy personally.
On board with Sam Burkett then as well, who runs in. He's on the PlayStation League. It is his third race in the championship coming into it. His teammate, actually, Aaron Saka, is in his first ever race, along with Sky Nichols, who in the Mercedes is also joining in this weekend. A little bit of a lock up there on the inside front left for Sam as he comes through into 9, exit 10. A little bit wide on the curb. That's okay. That time hasn't been invalidated. He comes up into the hardest part of the circuit because it is ever so slightly banked. You can't quite see it through the naked eye, but it does bank just at the exit. So you've got to hit your line perfectly and then hurtle down using a bit more of the ERS before you can open up the DRS. And then the heaviest braking zone on the entire Formula One calendar. And the acute apex, it's tighter than the Lowe's hairpin at Monaco as well. And it's almost like a V shape. You're racing towards the end of that as you fly back up into turn number 15. Pit lane entrance just at the exit. First time on the board then in qualifying for Sam. And it should be a 133.050. So that's going to be interesting to see how that's going to go. Let's take a look at Geordie, who's going to complete his lap time in the Red Bull into turn 15 as well. Looks to be good at the exit. Just gets a touch of oversteer. Controls that nicely. Second fastest is 133.211. Let's take a look at Shack Attack 63 as well. The Ferrari coming up to it as well. Now running on the Xbox. Let me just touch that inside line as well coming through. So this is Mosenberg as well coming on board. And just an okay run coming into turn 11 now as well. Just hugs that inside line. Let's go driver's eye. Now this is important. This is what I'm talking about. Can you just see the banking ever so slightly? Also, fun fact, that grandstand with the lettering on it as well. 2004, packed. Everybody wanted to be there. 2005, nobody wanted to be there. Then once it got down to 2011, they completely closed that grandstand now, so barely anybody uses it. That time's coming in. Tata has gotten top in the house, 131.555. Lock up ahead from one of the Williamses as we ride on board with Shaq as well. Just comes into the last corner now. 6th gear, drop downs 2, 4th. Oh, he took 5th at the exit, tried to control a nasty lap, and yeah, backed out the lap time. That was lost the lap as well at the exit. So losing out a bit there. Let's take a look at the McLaren of Rasta Klaus as well. A little bit of a slide at the rear as he hurtles down. This is, again, in that middle sector. We can't seem to pick anybody up in that first sector at the moment. As Senek goes into top in the other Ferrari on a 131.321. So Kenneth on to the top. His first race came in the opener of this season as well. His teammate, as I just went with Mosenberg, came in season 4, round 8 of the championship. There was a brief yellow flag out there in the first sector for one of the Williamses. McLaren looking good at the exit. So remember, these are the banker lap times we're going to be having as we get into the last corner. Master's just gentle on the throttle. He was down in 4th gear, doesn't go over the control line, and goes into 8th position, the slowest on the board, 134.4. Yellow flag in the backstretch. It's one of the RBs. Let's take a look. It's Bean Machine as well coming into it as well. Having to take a look at all the EAI dents as well. This is Michael Towers as well, running on the PlayStation. Again, in his 3rd race of the championship. He's just getting out of the way of everybody else on a lap time. Let's take a look at the Ferrari then. Backed out of a lap time on this one as well. I think as well, Owen, this is going to be the runner. I don't think anyone's setting any improvement delta times at the moment. Just first run's done, then I expect them to come back into the pit lane, refuel.
Yeah, I do expect that. So Ethan Shackleton looks like he's going to stay out. So I would have expected him in to go in and refuel, but obviously he's taken enough fuel to do a couple of laps in a row. But I reckon now the people that have done their runs, I reckon they'll be straight into the pits to refuel, and then they'll go out possibly on a fresh set. Some will either choose to use all 3 sets in qualifying, or some will only use 2. I'd personally opt to only use 2, but it'll be interesting to see the split of strategies.
Need to get this updated actually with who's actually in the race. We've had a couple that have changed over that I need to get hold of with the drivers coming in. So we have got a few drivers that have changed in, of course, with actually one out with a broken foot as well, which is never the best thing to come into it as well. I was speaking to Demon earlier on, he said he got a broken foot after Australia, so won't be racing. We've got a driver update list here. So that was Luca, who's left with the foot injury as well. So with Sky Nichols also not attending, but he's coming in. Here's Shack Attack down the back straight. I was expecting him to box, but he's going for a more powerful lap time. Look at the amount of ERS he's using. He's on the overtake button there as well. We can see on the board. Flicks in. Very tight at 14. Doesn't get on the power as early as I thought he might. Last corner. Too much wide. Straight line exit. Improves up to 4th, 132.785 as well. Let's take a look then at WHF as well in the Williams. And this is Aaron as well. Aaron McKirk, what driving? He is in his 3rd event of the championship. King Saka as well has also now left the pit lane. So we've got 2 drivers realistically on push laps. King Saka, oh, lock up there again. Front left coming through for Aaron as he comes out of the banking down the back stretch. Now, this should be a good 3rd sector. Let's just check in with what King Saka's doing. 1st sector, 23.943. He too locked up downhill into turn 6. Throw the car through turn number 7. Pick up a double apex. Yellow flag in the 1st sector. That's okay. Ignore that. Drivers getting out of the way of each other. Into 9. Far too slow. Better at the exit at 10. You can see him downshifting. 5th gear, 6th. 7th, drop down, 2nd gear, nice on entry, 4th gear at exit, takes a while for it to get back up, fighting oversteer at the rear. Now watch, not using much ERS power on the overtake button, still the normal attack. DRS is activated, he's got one, I think it's a Haas on the inside line, no it's a Ferrari. Locked up both brakes coming in. Handling so much more tricky on F124 than it was on previous games. Through the last corner and up to the line for King Saka in the Sauber. And another Aaron goes across into 5th, 132.356 still on the board. Yellow flag out in the 2nd sector. Where did Aaron go as well? So Aaron McKirk goes up into 2nd, 131.352. A lot of 3.5s on the board as well. Coming into it, let's try and pick another one who's coming up towards the line. We've got a Ferrari. So I'm going to predict it's Tata. Well, that's picked up the wrong one, actually, because it's coming across the board for Senki 95 as well, who's done a 131.321. He's our top board at the moment. Let's watch with Tata, though, down towards turn 1. Now, this tricky, as I said, it's a double apex, so throw the car in 1, pick it up into 2, tightens up massively, sort of got to go aim towards the boards to hook up a nice apex. 3 sneaks up on you, open up the power again through 4. It wasn't the best first couple of sectors. What's the lap time going to show us? It's a 23.873, 2/10 faster. Good on the brakes, downhill into turn 6. Back on 4th gear, 5th gear, 6th gear. Flicks it through. Wide line. Nicely done into 7 as well. It picks up the 2nd apex perfectly through into 8. Rear stepping out. You can carry so much more. Locks up the inside again. Coming into 9. Back on the throttle. Controls the rear slide out of 10. Up towards 11 now. Watch the brakes. 7th gear down to 4th. Carried a lot of speed. So he's gone in a bit deep, but the 2nd sector's good. Fighting. Just see the curvature on the banking there. You can see it levelling out the bump over their back. DRS open, almost instantly perfect reactions to open it up. 150, 100, 70, slam on the brakes, flick the car in, got it a bit wrong there, too deep. Senki goes top, 131.052, brings it down by a further couple of tenths. Tata's going to come across the line now in the Haas. Is it a better run around? It's up to fourth, 131.555 on that run around. So our championship leader at the moment as well, up in the order. Let's take a look quickly at those championship standings coming into it. I pressed that button correctly. 45 points at the moment. Baresi is leading this title. And of course, with the Ferrari drivers not participating today, Owen, this is going to be good for Haas to try and update their championship standings, and hopefully for Tata's to get up there and take a possible further points advantage in the front.
Yeah, it could be, although Andrea Chenkovan, who is second in the standings, will fight into the end. He is obviously top of the board. As it stands, we're 131.0, which in this game is a really, really solid time. But just something to point out, Wongsuat Reversi, or Tata, as you were referring to him to, has actually invalidated on the final corner his previous runner. No. He went slightly over track limits. He was half a second up, which would have, I believe, actually stuck him top of the board. But he invalidated on that very final corner, which is incredibly easy to do and something I think everybody who's driven this circuit has done before. Because if you take too much of that inside curve, it's just going to throw you offline for that final corner, and you will invalidate, unfortunately.
I'm reading the wrong board. That's what I'm doing up here at the moment. It's because it's got red on our monitor, so I need to get up here with Ferrari. Ethan Shackleton, here we go. Our season 4 champion, of course. I need to say, it's confused me on the notes because it's gone red for red, and I'm thinking red Ferrari. So take it as I come. I'm getting used to the names. Let's look at Speedy Dude 10 in the Alpine. So this is going to be Lewis Smith, reigning champion from season 6. Oi, that was a nice drift through the last 2 sectors. That's fantastic. That's right on board then. Through that last corner. Oh, he's coming into the pit lane. Of course he is. So that's everybody in pits or out on an out lap. Kind of to be expected as we take a look at Keaton Saka. Looks like he's going to be our first one to set a lap time in the Sauber. So it's going to be Aaron Saka, who is in his debut race in the championship. And over the line, downhill towards turn number 1. Now it's going to be, again, you can hear the rears almost trying to double up with grip. Nice inside line. He's kept it on the racing line. A bit too much curb there. He saw the car react as it hits the grass. Better exit out of 4. What's that first sector time as it comes across the line under the Pirelli banner? Oh, he's 3 thousandths down on his own best time. That's an amazing skill to keep it together. Through 7. Touch the curb on the exit there. We're stepping out ever so slightly. He is actually running on the EA server as well, so this will be the PC run. And a bit of a run around. Owen! The car stepping out in the middle of 9 and 10. That's never a good sign. Sector 2 faster than his best by 0.118. You can see the purple on the sectors. Come on, build at that speed. You've got a lot of battery left. I can see any dash there. Listen to the beep and the DRS activating tone. There you go. 8th gear. Slam on the brakes with about 70 meters to go. Double lockup. Gets it in. Gently back on the power. Rio wants to step out every time. One more corner to go before you hit the line. Not a lot of speed. Took a lot more curb. Delta puts in. It's improved from time, not position. So 131.789 still stays in 5th position. Got a Williams coming up towards the line as well to start a lap time. This is going to be Aaron McKirk as well on his Delta time. Got a Haas coming through. So this is the final runs then of qualifying. It's hard to tell who's who where. Haas slow at the back. What's the first sector then for Owen? It is up by 0.2 into 23.815. Double lock up on the brakes into the bottom of turn 6. Slowly close back up the power. Hug that inside line. Again, Rear just wants to step out every single time it wants to. So it looks like Andrea is going to have provisional pole position at the moment. One on debut, of course, back in Season 6, Round 6. Checkered flags out in 20 seconds' time. Holds that line. We ride with Aaron. Let's take a look. Who's in the pit lane? So, we already know that Andrea's backed out of it. He stays in the pit lane. Outlaps for the Alpine, the Speed Union, and Shack Attack. Double lock up on the brakes. So everyone started their lap times. Let's have a look then what Aaron McCurt's going to do then. Into the last corner, up towards the line. Is it quicker or not? That's the answer. Provisional pole position. 1:39.18. Let's take a look at Sam's lap in the Sauber. Improves up to 6th place. We've got a Haas out there. That's going to be our championship leader. Coming in now as well with Ravassi as well. Just getting a bit late on the brakes, but he's got time and deltas. King Saka's dived into the pit lane. Over the line we go then. What's our championship leader going to do? Is he anywhere there? He takes pole position. 1:30.911. There's a McLaren coming up to the line now as well. That's going to... Oh, Raston's coming into the pit lane. Okay. So that's going to be Bean Machine up towards the line of the RB. Michael Towers puts it P6. 1:32.490. Alpine's on a lap time here. Yeah, Alpine's on a lap time. Thought it was a Mercedes for a second from that one. Just takes it into the line, backs out of it. Looks like we've got it, unless we're going to see something from the Ferrari here. Coming through of Ethan Shackleton into the last corner. This is our last point on the board. Can Ferrari snatch back? 6th fastest. 1:31.886. Championship leader takes pole position here at Shanghai. And that points advantage becoming ever closer. What a qualifying, Owen, from that one. Didn't expect as well a pole sit at the front for Verassi, our championship leader, as well.
Fantastic qualifying. So close. Pole decided in the end by 7 thousandths of a second. The top 4 split by only 0.2 of a second. That's insanely close. But one thing I'd like to point out there I noticed is, I don't know if you noticed how the Alpine went straight on at this corner that one Ravassi is now coming up to. He was actually giving his teammate a tow down that back straight. If you looked at the map, Lewis Smith was right behind him. And that's why he went straight on, because he was giving him a nice little tow there. And he actually did improve with that tow, Lewis Smith. He went up to 4th with that 1:31.1. So that was some brilliant synchronization there from the Alpines that I thought I'd point out.
Fantastic teamwork then as well. Well, teamwork makes the dream work as they come into it. 7 thousandths of a second then at the end of qualifying. But this is going to be very close down towards turn number 1. Pole position, sometimes at this circuit, more of a curse than a blessing. And watch out further back. I think as well, 3 seconds separating the entire field's not really that... It's not going to be that differential between it. We're going to be in for an interesting session. But that's the end then of qualifying. So we will gear up, ready to go for the race shortly. They'll load in, get it all set up. And I'm hopeful, Owen, that we're going to be in for an interesting one. So what starting tyre would you choose? The hard or the mediums to begin with?
The cut-off point between the when the mediums pit and the hards pit is not too great here. It's about 2 or 3 laps, I believe. So I'd personally start on the hards. It's going to be dry all session from what I have seen in the race. So I would personally start on the hards. The mediums will be going in about lap 11 or 12 is their pit window, I'm pretty sure. And then the hards will come in about lap 15. So then you'll have the fresher, faster tyres to the end of the race. And because DRS is so powerful here, you're going to be able to stay within DRS of the cars ahead. So you'll be able to stay with them. When they box, you absolutely go for it. As we're already going, it looks like. Oh no, we're on the formation lap. I forgot about that. But I would personally choose the hard tyres, because not only will you be on the fast tyres to the end, because they will have done a few laps on the hard tyres in comparison to your fresh mediums, the drop-off of the mediums is not so great as it is in the first stint. So that, for me, around China is my preferred strategy, just because the hitting difference between the mediums and the hards is not as big as at other circuits.
It's going to be a really interesting race as well. And finally, hopefully, we'll have different tyre strategies playing into it. I'm really hopeful we're going to be in for a good race. I don't want to have a race where there's not any action because of 11 cars on the grid. This should be very, very close and very competitive, especially with championship leaders being towards the front of the order as well. So keep your eyes peeled for overtakes, lunges, DRS train. As the green flag flies around the back, has to lead Ferrari by 6 points in the team's championship after the opening 2 races. It's going to be a big, big disadvantage coming into this one, especially with our pole sitter being our championship leader as well. So let's get ready, and the formation that gives us an advantage to give us some tyre data available. Trying to get hold of the tyres. Here we go, to see what they're going to start with. And mediums for Tata, hards. It's a very even split there, Owen, actually. It's a nice of mediums and hards between the two.
Yeah, it is actually a very even split. Aaron McGurk opting for the hard tyres. If he can stay with Montserrat Reversi on those mediums for the first few laps, eventually those mediums will drop off, and that at the end of that first stint will come to him. So it's going to be really interesting to see how it plays out. Will Montserrat Reversi just absolutely go for it on those mediums? Maybe box a little bit earlier in the hope of getting a big undercut? Or will they sort of save their tyres a little bit to try and nurse them in comparison to the hards? So it'll be very interesting to see.
This is going to be the run down towards the line, isn't it? I can't seem to get a broadcast camera angle of this from the formation lap start, so we might have to go for an onboard angle here as we get ready for the lights to come on. We've got 3, we've got 4, we've got 5. It's action in Shanghai. It's a good start down towards turn number 1 as well. That's right on board with the second of the championship with Salinki as well. They're trying on the outside. Looks like Tata's kept the lead on the advantage. We've got the Alpine diving its way up the inside line into 2 and 3. So not the best angle there. Thank you very much, EA. But smooth start from everybody. McLaren's further back, already having a bit of problems as well. And down 2 places goes Michael Towers as well, down to 8th as well. And now just Geordie's got back to on the inside line as well. So Geordie's going to have that better power. The Saubers nearly banging into each other out of turn 6. Tata leads the way. Our championship leader with Reversi as well. He's going to push ahead. Already broken the second on these medium compound tyre. And now take a look to the Williams of Aaron McCurk, who's got the Ferrari directly behind him as well. Andrea Sovacan's going to try and look on the inside as well. There we see as well Shack Attack having a move. Oh, who's that going straight down the road there as well? That's not a yellow at the moment. So on the inside, there we go. Ferrari making the move there. Andrea not holding back on those mediums either. So the hard tyre runners are already having the disadvantage down the backstretch. No DRS on this lap. You'll have to use your ERS power. Geordie's going defensive against Michael down the backstretch into the braking zone. Alpine launching up the inside as well and making the move and off the track there. Breaking himself just a little bit. That's going to allow Ethan Shackleton to go back round the outside. Lap 1 though completed with Revesti with a 1:36.821. He has clean air, broken the DRS already as it gets activated. Battling though between Saka in his first race in the championship alongside Ethan Shackleton there as well, and his teammate of Sam just behind him as they'll continue out of 3 down to 4. So battle is very much for 3rd position at the moment. Second, 6 tenths advantage, yeah, so 2, 3, 4 back. as we see a little bit of a lock-up further back as well for the Alpine. Owen, what did you make of that opening lap then? Smooth for everybody, and medium is definitely the right tire to be on at the start.
Yeah, medium's really in their working window at the moment, but the tyre wear in this first stint of China, the reason I pick hards is because tyre wear on those mediums, it's so high. By lap 10, I find I'm on about 50% tyre wear. So those hards are going to come back into it eventually. It's just a matter of when, and now it's more of a question of can Andrea Chenkovan catch up to Montserrat and Virsi, and can Aaron McGurk stick with them and maybe try and keep himself in the game for when that crossover point from the hards being worse than the mediums happens. That's what we're going to have to keep an eye on.
Shackleton got through there as well on King Saka and the Alpine on the inside. Lots of lockups down into the braking zone as well. And the Alpine almost does look very slow. There's your possible race strategies flashing up on the monitor as, again, we see another extension of the championship there for Ravesi as well. It's a 1:34 that lap time as well. He's already put out 1.7 seconds. But now, what was a flabbergast to say it as well, that Lewis Smith is trying to still attack back to Ethan Shackleton, and they are side by side, exit of 4. Watch the two Salbers in the rear view mirrors as well. Now, if Lewis Smith is clever about this, a dive bomb would not be out the realms of possibility as well. Ethan knows it, tries to defend the inside line. Lewis looks for a way around, can't. Positions the car at the exit. He'll try and sweep back through 7. Look how close they're going. He's got much better traction on the outside, though. Cuts back in for the double apex. 9 and 10's an opportunity. This is why it's so hard to overtake at Shanghai. Back down towards turn number 11. The Salbers are still going to be up there. Also taking into account as well that we've got the Williams closing up there. Aaron McCurk's on the back as well of Andrea, sort of can as well. So come down, DRS is activated, so there's 3 and 5 we're sort of having to keep an eye on. And look at the Salbers, that's Saka and Sam. Now Sam's got DRS and Saka, and through on the inside, there goes Lewis, and Saka's going to have an attack too as well. Ethan doesn't know what to do, he's gone defensive, but Saka will have the DRS try and cut back on him as well. Into the last corner, oh hello! DRS board off, and that is off the track for the Williams of Owen McCurk. He's lost it coming out the last corner, hit the DRS board and has dropped down to 7th position. Suddenly, it's a Ferrari 2-3. That helps him in the championship. Saka's looking at the inside of Lewis Smith as well, as Shackleton takes 2nd place right round the outside from Saka. Fantastic in his first race appearance. He has taken it to shine. Now, what can Sam do? Can he get ahead into the braking zone as well? No, he can't. So, all happening then on the 4th lap of 28. And now, championship leader Varese leads this race, Owen, by 2 seconds. Ferrari have a big job. They are going to have to start maybe thinking Teams Championship here at the moment, but they're drivers in race through the year. They want drivers' standings. What do you make of that little battle then? And bad for the Williams and McCurk going off the track. Big lock-up for the Ferrari.
Yeah, really unfortunate for Aaron McGurk. They're going off and hitting that DRS board, but a really, really good position for Ferrari. Obviously, one Haas not racing tonight, so the 2 Ferraris are gaining big points in the championship on on Haas. In the constructors, so big for the championship. But in terms of Andrea Chankovan's driver standings, I think what he needs to do, if he's unable to get himself within DRS of Montserrat Ravesi, he needs to keep himself in that undercut range and undercut. The undercut range here is about 2 seconds, so he needs to keep himself within sort of a 2-second window if he doesn't have the pace to catch, so he can then catch Montserrat Ravesi on that undercut, because with DRS, even with a lap worse tyres, he'll be able to keep himself in that DRS range just through how powerful DRS is around this circuit.
Long straight as well, you can activate it between exit of turn 15 and down towards turn 1, and exit of turn 13 halfway down the straight onto the braking zone of 14. Saka got through on that back straightaway in that DRS zone as well. He went up the inside of Shackleton, got the move done, And now he's under pressure as well from Lewis Smith, who's just behind. And Smith still in the championship hunt, let's not forget. So what's Shackleton going to do about this one? He doesn't want to let Saka get away with it. Saka's just shaking that car every time in the mid part of 9 and 10. And Sam Burch has got a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. So that's going to be added on to the end of the race time. He's got 6th at the moment as they come down. Now, Ferrari at the moment, it's Championship 1-2 at the moment. Andrea Silvacan as well in 2nd position, leading this race as well to our championship and race leader as well with Varese as well. And are we going to see anything from Sam this time? No, he's going defensive against Alan McCurk. Lock up from Saka and Shackleton trying to come through. Lewis Smith just in there too. So this is still the battle we want to watch in the midfield. Let's ride with Smith as he comes down. Lewis Smith as well, reigning champion from season 6 coming into this one. Just takes a wide line through 1 and 2, hovering in 2nd gear. It's just desperate to find the right part of the track, not to want to oversteer it and get it wrong. Good exit down into the braking zone. Wonderful helicopter cam actually from this angle. Heavy on the brakes. Gap is still... This is weird. We should be looking at the race leader, but there isn't a battle further back. 9 and 10 are battling, however. Alpine goes through onto the move there. That is going to be Kyle Stewart-Woodard as well. So Kyle's got through on Geordie in the RB. So a nice move over 9th and 10th positions. And is Geordie going to have a little fight back? I thought about a move on the inside. Still very close. This is over 9th and 10th, so still championship positions in this one. Got my finger hovering over the positions on the back straightaway as well. They're in DRS range now. Look at Lewis Smith. He's going on the attack as well. And we've also got Ethan Shackleton looking for a move. Double lock up from Saka. Smith can't do anything about it as well. Just everyone playing the waiting game. Sam Burch has dropped down into 7th position though as well. Aaron McCurk back up as we see again with DRS on the inside. Geordie making the move as well on the inside there of the Alpine of Kyle Stewart-Woodard as well. And Kyle's way off the track. He'll get a warning for that one. The McLaren of the McLaren's going to get a little bit of a look back as well. Adam Watson in 11th position. Meantime, Saka having an attack as well into the braking zone. 2 tenths between these lot. So we've got Ethan Shackleton running in 3rd. Saka's in 4th. Lewis Smith in 5th. Alan McCurk in 6th place. But it's now the battle for 3rd position as we see Andrea set off after Varese as well, who's leading this one. Oh, Saka just a little bit wide. Continually having problems in 9 and 10. As a little bit there of another spin, it looked like from Aaron. He was way off into the mid part of the circuit. It looked like the rear snapped on him to try and take back some attack power. Lap 7 of 28. There's your race leader. They are championship leader. There comes the 2 Ferraris. And look at Saka. Still got 8 tenths to Lewis Smith, but he's got the DRS on Ethan Shackleton. Shackleton goes defensive. Saka's going to keep to his racing line. Will have the inside line. Breaks late, gets it, cuts off Shackleton. Fantastic bravery around the outside. Ethan tries to think about a move to come back at him. Not going to have another toe. Oh, hello, and he spins out. Out and round. Oh, that's almost similar to Pascal Wehrlein a couple of years ago. Locks it up on the rears, and exactly the same as Aaron McCurk did a few laps ago. So drama as the Ferrari of Ethan Shackleton drops it coming out. Our Season 4 champion there, Owen, just getting on the curb, and that's the problem with this track. It can punish you quite quickly. That has massively changed the race order as well, because it relieves the pressure on everybody. Now they can start tyre saving.
Yeah, curbs here at this circuit are very, very deadly, especially that last corner, I find. But we've got quite a lot of big gaps. We haven't got many people in win DRS of each other, only sort of 3rd, 4th and 5th from what I can see. So we're going to have a lot of tyre saving, and I expect to see some undercuts happening now from the medium runners. I expect to see Andrea Chenkovan. I imagine he'll be in lap 10 because he still is in undercut range roughly.
Has he made a mistake?
The DRS.
Has he made a mistake?
Quite a bit of time. I think Montserrat Reversi has been saving tyres, but Andrea Chenkovan is still definitely in undercut range roughly. Same as King Saka as well. I believe he could possibly undercut and get into that, although he's on hards. And yeah, he's got past Andrea Chenkovan there, but I think Chenkovan now, the undercut is 100% his best bet due to how far behind he is, and he could definitely fire himself back into DRS of Montserrat Reversi with that undercut.
Great move then as well from Saka. Moves up to second position, but now we've got Chenkovan with the DRS, pulls to the outside line through one. That's going to be very risky to try and keep it through. Can't do it. Tries to cut back. No, you're not going to do anything now. 2 and 3, you cannot make a move. You will just have a massive accident. You see Lewis Smith just waiting to see if there's an opportunity for him to pounce back. Down we go, and it might be actually as well. He's closed up dramatically. So, must have been a problem for Chenkovan there. And, Saka locks up. Just keeps that inside brake. Come on, what are you going to do? You can see the rear stepping out, how slidey the rears are. Let's check on board. Go back one and ride with Lewis Smith, who's got a great view of the two ahead. So he won't have DRS, but he'll get a great baton slipstream. That was almost looked like a lock-up from the Haas there as well. That was Reversi almost locking up. So medium, hard, hard, medium, hard is our running order. All doing 8 laps. That's a great camera angle of the grandstand as well. Let's ride on board with Lewis Smith. He's too far back. Let's jump a car ahead. As we see as well, Chenkovan going through the inside line. Makes the move stick. Saka's not going to like that. As we swept back, he's locked up actually. Tries to send it round the outside to the last corner. Brave move, and it's worked, but he's gone way too deep. And where's the Ferrari? Into the pit lane. So the Ferrari becomes the first driver to decide that's enough for me. I'm going to come into the box. Now, what tyres is he going to put on? Has to put on the hards. Away, smooth stop, and good exit. Now, where's he going to filter out as well? We need to look for P9 and P10. So, Owen, is that too early or just about right? Because now he's going to play the undercut game.
There is that undercut I said about from Andreas Chenkovan. Starting on those mediums gave him that opportunity to do that. And no, it's definitely not too early. Hards will do the distance. I witnessed someone here in a league race do 26 laps on the same set of hard tyres. So Hards will 100% do that distance, in my opinion. So I'd say it's about the right time. I said previously around lap 10. It's lap 10 now, so this is probably around the perfect time to undercut and fire yourself back into DRS of your rival.
Catching is one thing, passing is quite another. This is Lewis Smith, who's now on the back of Saka. Won't have the DRS just yet, and the gap is 7.5 tenths of a second as they'll hit the boards now. He has DRS range. This is not going to be an attempt at overtake. This is simply to line it up. You can see just in the distance there, big block up from the pair of them, and they're on hard tyres. As further back as well, there's drama between Sam and Ethan. They are side by side of the exit. Look at that. They're almost close to touching. They do touch. Into the pit lane comes our race and championship leader. Also diving in is Sam. And that was a cheeky little battle between the Ferrari to make it stick. Race leader and championship leader, though, of Verassi comes in for those hard compound tyres. Nice switch over and away. And I'm not going to be the devil's advocate here, but I'm looking to the clouds and I'm starting to think, Owen, is there a chance that we could see some rain, or are we just going to have overcast for this race? Because I don't know if it was a glitch or what. I thought I saw a spot of rain.
I got a weather report from Carl Stewart Woodard, and it looks like it's approximate weather, but it looks like it's going to stay dry the entire session. I think it's just very, very overcast, which I think if it was going to rain, I don't think we'd be seeing so many drivers pitting in, especially for the hard tyres. I think you'd be seeing drivers going for the mediums, but I don't expect it to rain, personally.
The medium tyres are the ones to be on now as well, to go late into the distance, but hards will be the optimum soon. As I'm going to correct myself with that, because Lewis Smith just sort of locked up, stopped, and had an opposite 90-degree slide coming through the banking section of turn 12 and 13. Now the run down towards turn 14. You can see that Alpine dancing around. Big lock up from Saka, and almost loss of a front wing there as well from Lewis as he comes back through. He tried to have a look, but Lewis could not get through. So this is now the battle effectively for the lead, because they are on hard tyres that can go, until, let's see, they've done opening 11 laps. Yeah, this can go easily until about lap 19, 20 to come into those. Mediums are going to have to come in soon as well. They're not going to last too much. Let's take a look at what the Ferrari's tyres are like and how that car's handling. Seems to be okay. Owen, you're the eSport driver expert. What would you be saying right now with these tyres and looking on board with Ethan's car? Is he taking the corners okay? Is he losing grip anywhere, or is he looking A-okay?
I can't imagine those mediums feeling too great, as you see there. Almost on cue. Almost on cue, you see, I don't think those mediums are going to be feeling too good. I imagine, I'm going to say they'll probably be on around 53, 54% tyre wear, probably, maybe even 60, somewhere within that range. So I don't think those mediums are going to last too much longer, and I expect them into the pits this lap, in my opinion. Whilst the hards, I expect them to go to about lap 15 or 16.
This is Michael Towers in the Beam Machine as well, and Tata just behind is our race, well, it was our race leader, but now our championship leader of Verassi as well. Wrong's got Verassi coming through, and he's on brand new hard tyres. You can see already he's gained up about 3 seconds over the last 2 laps alone, and this is going to be a breeze. He'll get in the toe, open up the DRS, but this is a slam dunk coming down into the braking zone. Reels him in as well like a fish, pulls around the outside, steps on the brake with 70 metres to go, gives him enough racing room. They just give each other a little bit of a kiss at the exit, and through goes Verassi as well. So nice attempt there for Michael, but on old hard tyres, it's not going to work. Diving into the pit lane is Ethan Shackleton as well, so you're right. So Ethan has come in. This is our race leader battles once again, with Lewis Smith in control as well. Looking to the the Sauber just ahead as well of Aaron Saka in his debut here in APC, and I think he's making a bit of a name for himself here as well. P1 holding off our reigning champion of Lewis Smith as we ride on board with Smith. Exit curve there for Saka, a bit too much. Entry curve there, bit too much for Smith, and almost jumped that Alpine over the curb. Stop on the brakes, gone too deep, he got caught out. Saka's lockout caught him out. So a messy couple of corners there for the reigning champion. Now he's going to be angry. He's going to use that anger, fuel it to try and catch back up. But Saka, just running a little bit deep, took the braking line out from him. He'll have the DRS down the straight in towards the braking zone. But this is fascinating between these two. It's a game of wits almost, as both of them lock up into the braking zone. Fantastic race this. Lap 13 and 28. Coming up on halfway as, hello, that's Sam. Sam Burch just got ahead of Geordie. That's ironic, what I said, didn't even mean to. But 8th and 9th changed over, and that's going to be Kyle Stewart-Woodard is going to be passed as well. So medium tyres not the ones to be on. Sam on brand new hards now, right behind the Ferrari of Andrea Chekavan as well. Back to the front. Smith has not got the DRS. This is down into turn 6. He's closing up on Saka. Geordie's back through. Geordie's got back through on the line. Now, is that for a pit stop? Yeah, so the Alpines dived into the pit lane to put on those hard compound tyres. So now everybody owns on the hard tyres. So this is going to be the changeover of the race. When would you box if you're on old hard tyres? How many more laps can you possibly go as we're at halfway? And that time penalty being served.
I think in terms of the people on old hards, I think they're going to come in well, they'll start coming in next lap, so end of lap 15 and lap 16. I think that will be the window. 17 would be leaving it too late, in my opinion, because you're going to have less fuel at the end of this race. You're going to have more laps of better performance on those mediums. So 15, 16, and 17 are your optimal pit laps on the hards. Personally, I'd go 16.
So that could be about 2 more laps to come in. Thank you, Owen, as we take a look at the front battle, because the race lead could be changing soon. Saka leading Smith, and Smith's off the road. That'll be a track limits warning. Let's hope he hasn't reached the maximum and he'll get a 3-second time penalty as they'll fly through. Only one to get that so far is Sam Burch. As well, he had that time penalty added on. Now, Smith's closing him in as well. Saka's going to have to go to Fencer. That's right on board with Lewis Smith at the exit. I keep wanting to say Luke Smith, who is the Autosport journalist who also does e-racing as well, which just gets confusing in my namesake as well, coming into it. From where we've covered... well, I say covered, it's been more like the journalists have just done races for fun and we've been shouting about it. So on board with Lewis Smith, our reigning champion, coming in. Look at that, they're drifting around. It's almost going to feel like driving on ice at this stage as well on those hard tyres. Trying to read the dashboard, can't for tyre temperatures. It's just too pixelated from my angle up here in the commentary box. I must say, by the way, I'm not streaming this, by the way. Well, I am. I'm in control of it. This is using Tom's PC and the screen share, and it's fantastic. It's 4K quality, I've got to say. Well done to Tom Dillon, who may not be here in the commentary box this evening, but he has certainly set us up for an absolutely fantastic ability to stream it. And we miss you, Tom. Hopefully you're having a great time, and we'll see you again next week for 4th race of the season. Back up then as Lewis is closing in as well. And is that Aaron Saka diving into the pit lane? Yes, it is. So Saka pits, Smith takes the lead, and this will be on to the mediums. Just gets it okay. Doesn't get a speeding in the pit lane penalty. Geordie stopped as well for medium compound tyres. And back up into second position goes the Williams of Aaron McKirk as they'll change it over now to medium compound. So this, do you reckon we could see a medium get the opportunity to win this race, Owen? Because he's going to come out now ahead of Bean Machine coming into it as well. So he's out there ahead of where he needs to be in the order of things. Trying to desperately remember that he's Michael Towers. So he's ahead of Michael Towers here, Saka. And 4 seconds back to the Ferraris. This could be a debut win here for Saka.
Possibly. He's about 8 seconds off the race lead, which on those medium tyres is very retrievable in about 12 laps. So I think, 100% he definitely, if he has the pace on those mediums, could get this win. Because those mediums will be perfectly fine to the end of the race. They'll probably be, with less fuel, they'll probably be on about 50% by the end of the race, which is perfectly okay. That's where they start to really drop off. So it is 100% possible that we could see a debut win here from King Saka.
This is the one we're watching for battle of position for the first time, as we've just seen Michael Towers dive in for a set of medium compound tyres. This is your first one, though, to change over. That's going to have a direct battle. So this is the Ferrari of Ethan Shackleton riding with and attacking the Sauber of Sam Burkett as well. And now we see as well, Ethan's got DRS. He'll try and have a go. We can't see from that angle. That's right on board. DRS activated, reels him in. Pulls around the outside line. That's going to be such a disappointment as well, as the move's done before the corner. And there's a battle. It's into the pit lane as well. Comes Aaron McKirk. So that's up to 3rd position now for Andrea. So we swap over once more. Now it's going to be, I think, as well, different tyre compounds. But Sam's staying with Ethan here. He's not letting him get away. And this is one of the this is the closest battle on the circuit right now as well. But Sam's got that 3-second time penalty. But let's just still see what's going to happen, because it's always more fun. As into the pit lane as well comes the McLaren. Just one McLaren, as just Geordie does a 1:34.675. Gets the fastest lap of the race so far. Into the pit lane comes Adam Watson. the rest of class 5 on the export, third longest standing as well. He was season 2, race 1 came in as well. The second McLaren of Connor Stewart-Wooden as well, not racing, but he's one of only 2 drivers to have been here since the beginning. The other being Kyle Stewart-Wooden, who's still racing here as well in the Alpine. We were just talking about him earlier on in the day. Who's down in 10th position at the moment. Let's check in then, as there's going to be another battle that should be easily done. And McCurk will have that DRS as well on Sam. Should be simple. Pulls around the outside, slipstreams his way through and cuts the move off as into the pit lane comes Lewis Smith, and into the lead of the race. Our championship leader goes with Verassi. So 4.7 seconds should be an easy advantage. But now as well, immediately you can see the difference that those mediums are giving to the hards, because Ethan Shackleton's having to go defensive as well. Almaker's almost, oh, he does! Bang, bang, sparks are flying! Forget Japanese fireworks, we've got Chinese fireworks here in turn 1 and 2. Shackleton goes and cuts across the track to get defense. Those medium tyres much more powerful, knocking each other for 6 as they come down into turn 6. Heavy, and he's got through. Al McCurk literally sparks his way through on the Ferrari. Well, Shack Attack is his name in the game for Ethan. I'm afraid it's just been annihilated. Medium tyres, so much more grip. We've got Lewis, who's come out in 4th place, so I think let's get our thoughts of Owen in our pit lane. It seems the medium's going to be so much more fast than the hards, no matter when the hard tyres swapped over. In these track conditions, mediums just work.
Yeah, and because in comparison to the first stint, the hards have extra laps on them in comparison to the mediums. So King Saka going and taking P2 there, and he's only now 5.3 seconds off the lead, 5 seconds off the lead. So it's very possible that the hard to medium strategy, like I was saying, is going to be the better strategy in this race, just because of how strong those mediums are at the end of the race, and the drop-off won't be as severe because of the extra laps on those hard tyres.
Swooping round, so Saka takes 2nd position as well. That's going to really annoy Andre, who was on those hards. So is Saka maybe on for a debut win? Can he catch up to Verassi as well, who's leading this race? The gap is closing. 4.5 now, locks up the outside front left as well. So going to take a little bit more. Let's take a look quickly to Ethan Shackleton, who's still within a second at the moment. Closing down a little bit to Aaron McCurk. Down the brakes, lock up from Aaron, just ahead. I think we've seen the end of that little battle for now as well. The gap now just ticking over plus a second. In fact, this is the closest battle on the circuit right now as well, in 5th and 6th positions as they come into 9 and 10. That's a better idea of front tyre temperatures there. So the hards are running okay at the moment, from what I could read on the front lefts. One of the hardest abrasive, of course, is the front left tyre at this circuit. And this is the closest battle on the track. So a ride back with Ethan as he exits turn 13, gets on the straightaway down towards 14. Keeps on the attack. DRS is activated. 9/10 back. You just got to hope that Aaron locks up. He's not gonna. A bit of puff of smoke there, but nothing happens. It's this weird crossover phase now as well, where we're just unsure of who's going to come out on top. But Saka, 3.7 seconds now, the gap as well to Verassi. So the race leader and championship leader is really going to struggle in the latter stages of this race. There is 9 to go. This is lap 20 of 28. You count the last lap as well. So 9 laps on a set of hard tyres should be doable. That'll take them to the 18. But another 9 laps for Saka's medium tyres. That's going to be interesting. There'll be, I think, Owen, there'll be, if I'm right in saying, they're going to be similar on tyre degradation between the two of them.
Sorry about that. My mic wouldn't unmute, but yes, definitely they will be fairly similar on tyre degradation. And it's going to be close come the end as well.
A bit of a lock up there as well. That was from Lewis Smith just ahead of them. Now everybody, this is still the. Hang on a minute, we've got interesting here because. Yeah, it looks like Lewis has backed out of him, but Aaron's come back with the attack on those medium compound tyres. He has gained so much more delta time here. I don't know if the Ferrari made a mistake and I wasn't watching all the battles have changed, but the Ferrari's moved up into 5th position. Down to 6th. Down. Oh, he's locked it! Oh! And he gets Aaron gets a time penalty as well for corner cutting. 3 seconds added to his time. The rear's locked. Tried not to slam in the back of Ethan, and it just locks the rears. That's so cruel. Didn't like that. I feel sorry for him now. I really do. Can't control the rears locking like that. Did well not to loop it around. And now he has a time penalty. One of the closest battles on the track. Spoiled again. Still, if he can get past and get 3 seconds, that's fine. Look at Lewis, 7 seconds back. Ethan Shackleton's now 7.7 seconds the difference. I have no idea how that has appeared in this race. I would say a safety car would bunch things up, but yeah, they'll have everyone just pit for soft tyres, and then we've got a mayhem situation. And if I'm not very much mistaken, safety cars don't tend to come out in the last stage of the race. It's usually a VSC if it needs anything. Little lock up there again for the Ferrari. Aaron's got to find exit speed and delta. He tries. Loops it back. That's right on board with him. 7th. 8th. Has DRS. Is he close? Closing. 6 tenths, 5 tenths. 4 tenths before he hits the braking zone. That's where he locked up before. But he hasn't made the mistake he did a lap ago. And he has the time if he gets ahead to get that 3 seconds back. It's not all over yet for Aaron McKirk. Look how much closer he is at that last corner. A bit of sunshine over the start-finish rate as well. He's going to dive up the inside line. Beautiful movement towards turn 1. Bumps over. You can see the dust on the floor of the Williams. But Aaron moves up into 5th position ahead of Ethan Shackleton. And now he's got to get 3 seconds back. And now we also have another battle going on because Andrea Senecan as well has dropped 4 seconds to Saka and has fallen into the clutches of the 4-lap-old medium tyres of Lewis Smith. So this another battle on the track now that is rapidly decreasing. You just see Saka lock up on those medium tyres of 6 laps. His gap is 2.4 and closing to Varese at the front of this one. Exiting now, let's join with onboard camera. Is Lewis going to get himself onto the podium? He's so much faster than the Ferrari as well. This should be easy. Pulls the inside line, and that, everybody, is an example of medium, better tyres, better and off. That's where have we got this off? It's Geordie. Geordie's gone for a spin. He's carried on. And that's down through turns 8. There's 9 and 10. Tyres look to be okay. But Geordie having a spin. I thought it might have been Michael with it being an RB colour. But he's okay and back up and running. Let's take a look back then as well through the first few sectors. So Lewis back up into the running order. Looks like we might have as well a further change around as Ethan Shackleton staying with Aaron McKirk. DRS open. Nope, sorry, ERS deployed. I saw the little jump from the Ferrari there on that battery power, that lovely juice. Nothing happening there. So for the first time in this race, we're sort of entering the quiet patch as everyone on those tyres now on hards, they're too old, and everyone on the mediums are just in that sweet spot. Oh, out! Spin! Aaron's gone round! He's looped it! 360 gets it going again, but that puts the two Ferraris 4th and 5th, and will have double the better points for the constructor standings. Oh, Owen. Oh, and he's losing it again. Now, Owen, would you say his tyres are overheating now at the rears and they're just cooked?
His rears are fried. There's no other way of putting it. Going through that tyre,
yeah, 97.
Tyre heat here is always an issue. Tyre heat here can be an issue, so I generally turn my differential down. I have 2 different settings for qualifying and for the race. But after that spin, his tyres aren't going to be feeling nice for the next couple of laps. So he's got to be really, really careful. He's got to lift off maybe off the pace a little bit, just so he doesn't spin again.
So that's 3 spins in the space of 2 laps. That's never going to be a good sign. And he's going to fall into Sam's clutches. So that 3-second gap to keep him in 6th now might just stay into position. But look at the battle for the race lead. So this is Verassi, our championship and race leader, with Saka. And Saka is in his first ever race in APC. And this is going to be a very entertaining last 4 laps coming up. Is that 24 or 28? So 5, 6, 7, 8 coming up. Might need an encore after this one as well. Saka just controlling it. This is going to be fun. Saka, first race, of course, coming in. Don't have any information on our stat sheets up here in the commentary box for him. We have numerous stats coming in. Bit of a lock up there as well from the Haas. Just seeing if there's anybody else with deltas close between them. Nothing on my monitor. Over the line. 4 laps to go here at the Shanghai International Circuit. And they're just now all holding out hope that maybe we're going to see a battle towards the end between old 18-lap-old tyres that will be of the Haas of Verassi versus new kid on the block, Aaron Saka, who's doing a brilliant performance here at the moment. I'd like to just say, actually, we were supposed to have both Mercedes here, but neither of them are here tonight, unfortunately. So that's why there's only 11. Saka downshifting into 4th. Stays it through, back on. 1.5 the gap now as well. Owen, I want to ask you a question here. If you're Saka, how do you play this? When would you go? Because you know you've got the better tyres, you know you've got the grip, but when in your debut, would you settle for 2nd or you're going to go for glory? So when would you go, hit the pedal?
I honestly think you want to get in DRS as quickly as you can, just because he probably doesn't have much battery, possibly. If he doesn't have much battery, I'd say he'll want to get into that DRS soon, so he can sit behind and recharge his pack, ready for that final lap when he's going to go for it down that final straight. If he's got battery, then I'd still say there's no reason to sit behind, but then he could be a little bit more safe, make sure his tyres don't overheat and things like that. But I think it really depends on where his ERS is at this phase in the race.
Let's take. I know we never like normally showing that, but I'd love to know what it is. 22% at the moment on battery power there for Saka. So what would you say there as well, Owen? Would that be enough, or does he need to recharge that towards the end of the race?
If he's got the gap to get into that DRS, I'd say get into it soon. So then you can have a lap and a bit to recharge under that DRS, stick with him so you can go for it on that final lap and have a final lap battle for the win.
He's close. 1.1 seconds at the moment as well. Verassi's going to know that he's got a fast car behind him. There's 10 laps between them as we head down to the braking zone for turn number 11. The gap 9 now, 0.8 of a second. Lewis Smith also beginning to close in. If these two start fighting, he'll be right there as well. Oh, and the McLaren with a 3-second time warning as well for Adam Watson. So he'll get a time penalty, and he's just actually come into the pit lane to change over to soft compound tyres. Saka's got the run, though, on the inside line. He's going to think about a move onto the braking zone. Look how close he gets to the back of Verassi. Verrassi's going to go very defensive at the exit. Saka has now got time and space to play with him. It'll be 2 laps to decide the third race of season 7. Over the line we go. McLeod's going to give maybe a slipstream in DRS, but it might not be needed. Saka's got much better power on the inside line down to turn 1. He breezes through and makes the move. And new arise King Saka. He's going to have the lead of this race. Can he get the 1 second gap to Verassi that he desperately needs? There's only half a second coming down towards turn 6. And what on earth is Verassi going to do about this? He's trying to keep up with him. Double lock up from Saka. So he went early. He's trying now to break that toe. He feels he's got the confidence. Maybe he's hearing our commentary behind him. But Verassi's going to be really out of it. Into there we go. Just holding the lines. Come on, everybody. I'd like a last lap showdown, please. That's what I'm only here for 1 week only. Tom gets the fun next week. I want to have a battle as into the pit lane comes the Alpine of Kyle Stewart-Woodard. So he's going to change over possibly to softs. Here we go again then. So this time it's Verassi with the DRS and at 67% of battery power that he's not using. As he hits the brakes, that'll regen, but they almost run into each other as well. Big lock-up from Saka. Verassi nearly plunged himself into the back of the Sauber. Final lap here in Shanghai. 1 more lap, 3.387 miles. Look at that DRS, brought him into 2.5 tenths. Round 1 and 2. A move into 6, not unlikely, but old hard tyres is going to be a big ask. Look at that, 5 tenths, the rear snaps on him, puts him immediately down to 6 tenths. It's not going to be enough. Gently touching the brakes, Saka locks up, still makes the apex. Gently puts the power down as well. Verassi's all over. He knows he's still got the championship lead leaving today, but he's fighting for constructors' points as well. Ferrari going to pick up 4th and 5th. Down we go again. Look how close he is to 9 and 10. Hugs that inside line, jumps over the curb a little bit. Still 0.3 of a second. A move here would be foolish. Oh, and that's Lewis Smith with a 3-second time penalty. It's not going to be enough. Verassi touches the back of Saka. Saka losing the rear. Who gets the power down as the tyres start to rev up and heat up? Saka's going defensive. Down we go. DRS is open. This will be a move around the outside. Saka knows he's lost it. There's nothing more he can do. Into the braking zone. He locks up. They both lock up. It's close between them towards the exit. Verassi's going to exit the last corner. I don't believe it's a last lap overtake. The championship leader extends the front. Verassi wins in Shanghai. Saka may not be the king today, but the prince has shown exactly what he can become. An amazing race towards the end, but it's the 18-lap-old hard tyres that come out on top. DRS, ERS, more than Saka, and he kept the advantage. Lewis Smith in 3rd, 4th and 5th for the 2 Ferraris. Andrea ahead of Ethan. Owen is going to finish in 6th for the Williams. Michael Towers is 7th. Sam is 8th. 9th on the board as well for the Alpine of Kyle Stewart-Woodard as well coming in. Geordie 10th. And the McLaren of Adam Watson finishes 11th. What a race. Owen, what did you make of that one?
What a race. What an ending. I don't want to sound like I'm speaking from hindsight, but I knew as soon as King Saka made that overtake and didn't then end up returning the position, that he'd lost it, because at the end of that phase, those mediums, although they are the better tyre, they're not going to be powerful enough. to break DRS around a circuit like China, for instance, especially. So
Yeah.
I think King Saka, although it's very easy to speak in hindsight, should have probably stayed behind until that final lap and done what Reversi did. So unfortunately, just a little bit of a poor decision lost him that race, unfortunately. But still, a mega effort from him to put a nearly 9-second gap back to a final lap battle.
Absolutely fantastic. We've read through the results, but they'll appear on your screen shortly after the podium ceremony. Championship extension coming from Ravasi as well. But the Ferrari's now going to take the lead in the Constructors' Championship as well. So that's going to be a big turnaround. They're both scoring points here this weekend. So what are you thinking going into the next round of the championship then, Owen? Who's going to be your eyes and ears going focused as well?
Where did the Ferraris finish? Sorry, just out of curiosity.
Fourth and fifth. Fourth and fifth, yeah.
They won't take the Constructors.
Okay,
and Montserrat and Reversi will actually outscore them in that race.
Oh,
they
really?
Get,
First?
the Ferraris will get 22 points between the two of them.
And they get
Montserrat
25.
Reversi, if he has fastest lap, which he does not, he'll get 25. So he'll actually outscore the two of them by 3 points and extend that gap to Haas. So a mega effort there on his own, to be fair. But,
that is absolutely mega, isn't it? Yeah, 12 and 10 for the Ferraris, 25 as well for Ferrari. That is fantastic. So 3 points the gap between them at the top. A fantastic race then here as well. And I've thoroughly enjoyed myself. I really have up here in the commentary box as well, as the information will now disappear from our screens and we'll move over to our normal standing. Now, there's no one currently waiting in the broadcast booths as well, Owen. So I'll wait around for a second to see if everybody does turn up. But give us your sum-up thoughts, if you could, please, on this race and the championship going forward. And I've thoroughly enjoyed working with you today as well.
Yeah, I've enjoyed working with you as well, Josh, and hopefully we get the opportunity to do it in the future again. But what a race there. Unfortunately, King Saka lost it on just better decision-making from Montserrat Reversi, but had a mega effort to pull back a 9-second gap and then had some good battles up and down the field. Unfortunately, we had a lot of spins, which on this circuit is very easy to do so, especially on that final corner and in that second sector. There's some very tricky corners on this circuit. But moving on to next race, we have Imola, which, in my opinion, is the hardest circuit that we've had in this calendar so far. We've had Bahrain, Australia, and China, and in my opinion, Imola is the hardest one just because there are so many deadly curves at this circuit, and it's such a tight circuit. The track limits are an absolute killer there. So next race is going to be a very interesting race, and I reckon we'll get three or four protagonists there, like we did in qualifying for the next race.
Owen, thank you very much for your company up here in the box tonight as well. I have thoroughly enjoyed working with you, and it won't be the last time as well. I will make sure of that as well. And hopefully I'll bump into you as well at Brands at the end of the season. My thanks to everyone here at APC for allowing me to come on the broadcast, and my thanks as well to Tom Dillon for suggesting me to fill in for him tonight. Normal service will be resumed for round 4 next time out at Imola. Tom will be back up in the box with Owen as well, and the shouty man will not be here next week, don't worry. But my thanks to you all. What a fantastic race here in Shanghai, China. It always delivers us something interesting as well. And the championship lead increasing for Ravasi. We'll see you next time. Thank you very much for your company. Good night to you all.
We're underway and racing. Stay on the brakes, goodness me, what a launch! The outside of turn 1 and takes the lead of the race.